All right, guys, so we're talking about cold water today, right? I've got a couple baits, five or so baits that I've picked out that I would fish in the wintertime. Okay, so we're gonna start with soft plastic and then we'll move on to the hard baits. All right, so the first soft plastic we're gonna talk about is the tube, right? I've got two tubes here. They're both Wild Things, but they're two different colors, right? They're made by Strike King, okay? You got pumpkin seed, and June bug. All right, so the important thing to remember when you're gonna rig up a Wild Thing, right, is they're just like a brush hog. You can see the appendages at the bottom, right? So that means that these appendages are gonna close off if you do it one way versus the other, right? So you gotta make sure you rig it up right. Now, you can fish that Carolina rig, you can fish a weighted Texas rig. There's all sorts of different ways you can fish a tube. But I'm gonna show you how I have it rigged up, and I'll talk about the setup I have it rigged up on. All right, so I have a pumpkin seed tube rigged up on a Carolina rig. Got a 3-foot leader. There's the weight, bead and swivel, up down to the weightless worm, right? Or tube. All right, so I'm fishing on a 7'2" or 7'1" medium heavy, fast action, Defy Black 13 fishing rod, right? And I've got it paired with a Shimano Corrado. All right, so the thing to remember when you're fishing a Carolina rig is your cast has to be sweeping cast. You can't do the quick wrist flick cast or roll cast or anything like that. It's got to be a sweeping cast, and your hook set has to be a sweeping hook set, right? Because you don't want to set over your shoulder and then pull that lure out of the fish's mouth. All right, so moving on. The next bait that works good in the winter is a fluke. All right, this is a 7-inch Magnum Super Fluke. Okay, just slow roll it. Right, I've got it set up here. All right, I'm fishing it on a 7-foot medium heavy fast action. It's a Berkley. It's like a MVP, Berkley MVP. It's a $40 rod from Walmart, right? And I've got a paired with a Abu Garcia Silver Max. It's a 6:4-to-1, I believe. Let me just make sure before I tell you guys. 6:4-to-1 gear ratio. I've had this reel for, I don't know, 9 years. All right. So here you can see I've got it set up on a weighted keel hook with the screw lock, right? I throw it out, I let it hit bottom, and I slow roll it in. All right, so moving on to the hard baits. Okay, now a lot of people, from what I've read, videos I've watched, right? We all watch YouTube nowadays. I think a lot of people are scared to fish these in the winter, okay? And that's crankbaits, right? This is the deep diving crankbait. I got it from my dad, so I'm not sure what brand it is or who makes it, but just any deep diving crankbait, right? Match the color to the bait fish you have in your lake, and you should be good to go, right? All right. Next. Well, before I do that, let's talk about the reel you want to fish your crankbait on. So crankbaits, you need a slower gear ratio reel, right? So I fish a crankbait on a Abu Garcia Black Max rod. It's a 6'6" medium, and then the Black Max reel is also a 6:4-to-1 gear ratio, right? So the reason you want a slower gear ratio reel is because you want to give that bait time to get down. You got to give it time to dive, right? If you fish a faster gear ratio reel, it's going to reel it back to the boat or kayak too fast, right? And you're not going to get that crankbait down to the optimal depth to catch the fish. All right, so moving on. Let me. The jig. All right, it's an Arky style jig. It's got 2 rattles. Let's see if I can get them out and show you guys. 2 rattles, and I've got it mixed with a black and blue jig with the peanut butter and jelly craw, right? So the reason I fish mostly Arky style jigs, and I like them because they don't really get hung up too much, right? Because you got the line tie that is in line with the hook, right? So you can drag it through pretty much anything. I tend not to fish jigs in rock very often. I'll fish it right up next to it, right alongside it. I've had a lot of bad luck with jigs getting broken off in rocks and fishing from the bank and kayaks. Kayaks not so much, but fishing from the bank, that's where I break most of my jigs off. It's just not a very good setup, right? So let's talk about the rod I had this on. All right, this is a Abu Garcia Ike Edition, 7'2", medium heavy, 6-power rod, right? I'm fishing it on 20-pound braid with a 15-pound monofilament leader. Again, throw the jig out there, let it sink, let it sit on the bottom, drag it back. Every once in a while, you can give it a little shake, but you don't want too much action, right? You want to let the skirt and the trailer do everything on its own, right? You don't want to assist it too much. That's really it, guys. I'm all about fishing on a budget, right? I don't make a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. So the things that I'm going to talk about are going to be things that you could do too, right? I got a great deal on some rod and reels. That's why I have the Shimano rod, the 13 Fishing, and the Abu Garcia Ike, right? Because I found a really good deal, and I got all 3 for a good price. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any of them, right? So, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section, because I'm all about improvement. All about helping you guys improve. You guys helping me improve. Let's make each other better, right? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.